For 6 years, she walked the corridors of power in Pyongyang, one of the few North Koreans who could freely enter the office of Kim Jong-un's wife. She had everything the regime could offer: a car, special rations, absolute trust. Then one evening, she overheard a conversation she wasn't meant to hear. Within days, she went from the most privileged to the most hunted. This is the story of a woman who traded luxury for freedom and family for survival. Subscribe to understand the reality behind the world's most isolated economy, where knowing a secret can cost you everything. My name is Han Yu-jin. I'm 36 years old. I used to be from Pyongyang. I should say, used to be. Just 2 months ago, I was one of the most envied people in North Korea. I worked as Ri Sol-ju's personal secretary. 6 years by her side. The party headquarters, 3rd floor. I was one of the few who could walk into her office freely. October 2025. Back then, I didn't know anything. That day started like any other. I lived in Pyeongchon district. The ride to headquarters took 10 minutes in my assigned car. Ordinary citizens couldn't dream of such treatment. 3 security checks just to get inside. That's what it took to reach Ri Sol-ju's office. When you opened the door, imported luxury furniture filled the room. Italian sofas, French chandeliers, Swiss clocks. Most Pyongyang residents struggled to eat 3 meals a day. The items in that one room could feed 100 families for a year. But I thought it was normal. I believed loyalty meant living well. Ri Sol-ju was always kind to me. Cold and demanding with other secretaries, but different with me. Sometimes she poured tea for me herself. In North Korea, when the supreme leader's wife pours tea for her secretary, you know what that means. Absolute trust. My father was a party official. 68 years old. He'd given his whole life to the party. My mother passed 5 years ago. Growing up, my father told me stories. How our generation built this nation. How we lived in the best country on earth. I believed him. Even our lunch rations were special. White rice, meat, fruit. Outside, regular Pyongyang citizens ate corn, rice and salt soup. I thought it was normal. On the drive home, I watched the Daedong River. Sunset painted the water. This was my home, my beloved Pyongyang. When I got home, my brother called. Father wasn't feeling well. Could we visit this weekend? I was the successful daughter. Father's pride. That night, before sleep, something felt off. Ri Sol-ju had seemed darker lately. Even when she was with Kim Jong-un, her smile wasn't the same. But it wasn't my concern. I only needed to know what I needed to know. I thought the next day would be normal. But that was my last peaceful night. The next evening, my life flipped upside down. I heard something I shouldn't have. From that moment, I became a dead woman walking. October 27, 2025. 6 p.m. The hour my life ended. That evening, event preparations ran late. Adjustments to Ri Sol-ju's outfit. Everyone else had left. The building was quiet. I gave my goodbye and walked to the elevator. Then I remembered tomorrow's schedule was still on my desk. I had a 6 a.m. start. I needed it. I went back up to the 3rd floor. The corridor was empty. I opened Ri Sol-ju's office door quietly. The lights were off inside. Then I heard voices. A woman's voice, trembling like a wail. Ri Sol-ju. A voice I'd never heard in 6 years. She was talking about family, about the children, her voice breaking. And a man answering coldly. Kim Jong-un. I froze. I couldn't breathe. My hands and feet turned to ice. The inner conference room door opened. Ri Sol-ju's eyes met mine. Her face was covered in tears. Fear and rage mixed together. Behind her, Kim Jong-un stared at me coldly. Time stopped. In a shaking voice, she asked how long I'd been there. I said I hadn't heard anything. Just arrived. It was a lie. I'd heard everything. She told me to leave. I stumbled out. As the door closed, I heard it. What are we going to do about her? I didn't hear the rest. I ran. Down the stairs, legs shaking. Outside, I collapsed by the flower bed and threw up. In my car, my phone rang. Headquarters number. It rang and kept ringing. My hands shook too much to answer. At home, I locked my bedroom door and pulled the blanket over my head. My whole body felt frozen. The phone kept ringing. Headquarters, Ri Sol-ju's number, unknown numbers. I turned it off. Later, knocking at my door. My brother. When I opened it, I fell into his arms crying. A 36-year-old woman crying like a child. He asked what happened. I couldn't tell him. The moment I spoke, he'd be in danger too. I just said I had to run. Then the house phone rang. That ringtone sounded like a death sentence. I stayed up all night. At 5 a.m., I turned my phone back on. 37 missed calls. 1 text message. Report to the State Security Department tomorrow at 9 a.m. The phone slipped from my hand. The next morning, 4 hours until I had to report. My brother said not to go. But if I didn't, they'd suspect more. I had to go. When I arrived at headquarters, the guards looked at me differently. Like they were watching me. I walked down the third-floor corridor and opened Ri-Sol-ju's office. I gave my morning greeting. She looked up. Our eyes met. She said nothing, just nodded. She avoided me. All morning, not a word. When I handed her documents, she wouldn't meet my eyes. Around lunch, she said I could leave early. I looked unwell, she said. Was that final mercy? On the third day, the atmosphere at headquarters changed. State security agents appeared on the third floor. Men in black people's uniforms walked the corridors. Information leak investigation, they said. Other secretaries were called in one by one. They went into interrogation rooms and didn't come out for an hour. I knew my turn was coming. On the fifth day, my colleague Kim Soo-jin didn't show up. Nobody knew why. At lunch, rumors spread. Soo-jin had been taken by state security. Cold sweat ran down my back. Soo-jin was older than me, more experienced. Someone like that could vanish overnight. I'm next. I'm definitely next. After work, I called my brother. I was going to run. I'd contact Jin-woo, my ex-husband. My brother said I was crazy. But I had to grab at any straw. That night, with shaking hands, I dialed my ex-husband's number. 3 years since we'd spoken. I asked him to help. Did he know a way into China? Long silence. He asked what I'd done. I couldn't say. Just that if I didn't leave soon, I'd die. Call back in 2 days, he said. He'd look into it. Then he said this, you survive. I'll help you. After hanging up, I cried. I'd hated him so much during the divorce. Now I was begging him to save my life. 2 days later, Ri-Sol-ju called me in. My heart stopped. This is it, I thought. But she said something strange. Be careful these days. People above are watching. You're a good girl, so be careful. Was it a warning? Or final kindness? That evening, Jin-woo called. He'd found someone. Come to Sinwiju in 1 week. 1 week. 1 week to settle everything and leave Pyongyang. No proper goodbye to father. No real farewell with my brother. My last week in Pyongyang had begun. 1 week. My final week in Pyongyang. From then on, I became a liar. I told Ri-Sol-ju it was my mother's death anniversary. I needed to visit Hamhung. She just nodded. Not suspicious, exactly. But maybe she knew. We'd worked together 6 years. Could she really not see through my lie? That weekend, I visited father. Our house in Pyeongchon district. 68 years old, sitting in the living room reading the paper. He'd given his life to the party. When I got into the Mansudae art troupe, he was so proud. I sat next to him for a long time. Just watched him read. His wrinkled hands, white hair, bent shoulders. I tried to memorize everything. Suddenly I told him I loved him. He looked startled. We weren't that kind of family. I hid a letter in his desk drawer. He'd find it later. Apologizing for being an unfilial daughter. Asking forgiveness. I was honest with my brother. In 3 days, I'd go to Sinwiju. Cross the river there. He worried about father. The guilt by association system father would face investigation. I knew. I was endangering my family to save myself. But I had to go. Otherwise I'd die. My brother cried. A 45-year-old man sobbing out loud. Just survive, he said. Survival is all that matters. Those were our last words. December 11th. Pyongyang Station, the train to Sinwiju. A 6-hour journey. Scenery rushed past the window. Pyongyang, Nampo, Onju, Jongju. Land I'd lived on for 36 years. Knowing I'd never see it again made me cry. It was night when I reached Sinwiju. Jin-woo was waiting. 3 years. My ex-husband, there to save my life. We drove toward the Yalu River. 20 below zero. At a small house, I met the broker. Departure at 2 a.m. tomorrow. 30 minutes to cross. Make noise, get shot. That night, Jin-woo and I talked one last time. He was sorry. If he'd been better, this wouldn't have happened. No, I said. My fault. Jin-woo gave me an envelope. Money. For China. I thanked him. December 12, 11 p.m. My phone rang. State security number. Return to Pyongyang by tomorrow morning. I turned it off, smashed the phone, flushed it down the toilet. 1 a.m. The broker woke me. Time to go. December 13, 2025. 2 in the morning. The longest 30 minutes of my life began. I followed the broker to the Yalu River. 20 below. The wind cut like blades. My hands and feet went numb. At the riverbank, others were waiting. 5 people total. 2 young men, a middle-aged woman, and a girl younger than me. Everyone had the look of people ready to die. Nobody spoke. The broker explained. The river was frozen but not completely. Walk carefully. Guard posts every 500 meters. If you see lights, get down. No noise. We went down the bank. When I stepped on the ice, my legs shook. Slippery. I walked carefully, one step at a time. The ice cracked under our feet. The sound echoed too loud in the night air. After 10 minutes, lights appeared on the left. Patrol. The broker whispered to get down. We all dropped to the ice. So cold. A flashlight beam swept across the river. Moving toward us. My heart was going to explode. The light passed. We survived. We started walking again. The man next to me stood up too fast. He slipped on the ice and fell. A loud thud. The patrol shouted. The broker yelled to run. We ran like hell. Bang, bang, gunshots. A scream behind us. Someone got hit. The Chinese bank came into view. 20 meters, 10 meters. Almost there. Then a sound beneath my feet. Ice cracking. Water rising. The young woman ahead of me fell through. Only her hand above water. She screamed for help. Nobody could stop. If we stopped, we died too. I just ran. Screams in my ears, but I ran. When my feet touched Chinese soil, my legs gave out. I collapsed. Gunshots kept firing behind me. 3 out of 5 survived. Me, the middle-aged woman, and 1 man. The other 2 didn't make it. A Korean Chinese man took us in a truck. I shook in the cargo bed. Not just from cold. Relief at being alive. Guilt that 2 people died. An hour's drive to some village. Inside a room, I collapsed. No strength left. That night, the 2 appeared in my dreams. The woman who fell through ice. The man shot down. They stared at me. Why did only you survive? I couldn't answer. I just wanted to live. My last night from Pyongyang was over. 36 years in my hometown, ending. Those 2 weeks in China were hell. 2 days hiding in Dandong. A Korean Chinese family's basement storage. No sunlight. Couldn't use the bathroom properly. The landlady brought food once a day. On the 3rd day, she rushed down. Police searching. Get out fast. I barely grabbed my things. Just left. Took a taxi to Shenyang. 6 hours. In Shenyang, I hid at a Korean Chinese church. The pastor helped. 1 week in a basement room. He told me North Korea had issued a warrant. State security asked Chinese police for cooperation. My photo was circulating. I had to cut my hair. Dyed it too. The mirror showed a stranger. A church deacon made fake ID. A Chinese name. Wang Mei. I wasn't Han Yu Jin anymore. I was Wang Mei. But it wasn't safe. The pastor said I had to go to Beijing. Shenyang was too close to North Korea. Beijing was a 10-hour train ride. The train station scared me most. Police were checking. My turn came. My hands shook. I handed over the fake ID. The officer looked at it, then looked at me. Then back at the ID. My heart was going to burst. The officer handed it back. Go, he said. I barely passed. On the train, I ran to the bathroom and threw up. In Beijing, I hid in a back room of a Korean Chinese restaurant. A week there. During the day, I washed dishes, cleaned. Did anything to hide my identity. After about a week, the owner said I should go to Korea. Too dangerous here. Through Southeast Asia, Thailand or Laos, then find the Korean embassy. How much would it cost? At least $10,000. Jin Woo gave me $3,000. Not enough. I felt hopeless. But the owner said the church would help. The pastors collected money. Korean Chinese people helped, little by little. Strangers saving my life. I cried thanking them. End of December, I met a broker. Through Vietnam to Laos, then Thailand. The broker asked if I understood the risk. I could get caught. Was I still going? Yes, I'm going. My last night in China. The final journey toward freedom began. China to Thailand was a nightmare. 2 days by bus to Vietnam. Every border crossing, my heart stopped. The broker paid guards. That's how we crossed. Vietnam to Laos was more dangerous. We had to walk over mountain paths. Walked all night. Blisters on my feet. My shoes wore through. My soles hurt. 2 days rest in Laos. A shabby motel. I lay in bed but couldn't sleep. What if I got caught here, after coming this far? At the Laos-Thailand border, problems started. The broker suddenly wanted more money. I said we had a deal 10,000. He said the situation changed. Thailand was cracking down. 5,000 more. I didn't have it. Then stay here, he said. A threat. Desperation. I couldn't stop here. I'd come too far. Then a Chinese man traveling with us offered to help with money. We paid the broker more. I was broke. I arrived in Thailand on New Year's Day, January 1, 2026. A village outside Bangkok. The broker said he'd take me to the Korean embassy in 2 days. I waited 2 days. The broker didn't come. On the third day, I understood. He'd run off, took the money and disappeared. A foreign country. I didn't know the language. No money. Nowhere to go. No idea what to do. I asked a villager in English, "Where's the Korean embassy?" Gestures and hand signals. Finally understood. I had to get to Bangkok. No money. Had to walk. Walked 2 days. Slept on the road. Didn't eat. Hungry, but I endured. When I reached Bangkok, I was exhausted. No strength in my legs. I asked people, found the embassy. Walked several more hours. When I saw the embassy building, tears came. The Taegukgi was flying. The first time I'd ever seen that flag. I was almost there. Then motorcycle sounds behind me. 2 Chinese men chasing me. Shouting in North Korean dialect. "Yu Jin, stop." State security sent them. I ran with everything I had. The embassy was 100 meters ahead. 50 meters, 30, 10. At the embassy gate, I screamed, "Help me. I'm Korean. I'm a defector." The guard opened the gate. Inside, I collapsed. Motorcycles stopped behind me, but I was already safe. Under the Taegukgi, I survived. I really survived. January 15, 2026. Arrived at Incheon Airport. Getting off the plane, walking through immigration, my legs shook. This was really Korea. Republic of Korea soil. After 36 years, the first time stepping on free land. National Intelligence Service people were waiting. I'd need to be interviewed. 2 days of questioning. I told them everything from that night. The fight between Ri Sol-ju and Kim Jong-un. The conversation I heard. Everything that happened after. The interviewer said it was important information. Thanked me. Near the end, the interviewer spoke carefully. News from North Korea: father was under investigation, guilt by association. They'd stripped his party position. My chest sank. Did I kill my father to save myself? I couldn't get the words out. Tears poured down. I asked about my brother. He was being watched too. That night I cried for 2 hours. Cried out loud. I endangered my family to save myself. Father, my brother. My family was suffering. Days later, resettlement support began. The government provided housing, living expenses. For the first time, I walked the streets at night alone. Nobody was watching. I went into a convenience store and bought things. Freely. In North Korea, even with money, you couldn't buy freely. I got a phone. Searched North Korea news on YouTube. Typed Ri Sol-ju's name. Videos appeared. The woman I'd known. On screen, she was smiling. I worked beside her for 6 years. I knew her secrets. That's why I'm here. The counselor asked if I had regrets. No. Wasn't it hard because of my family? Yes, it's hard. Father appears in my dreams every night. But no regrets. I wanted to live. During Hanawan orientation, I learned about Korean society. Very different. People spoke freely, moved freely. At first, it scared me. But gradually, I adjusted. Now I live in a small place. Found work. Still adjusting, but I'm okay. Sometimes at night, I think of Pyongyang. Daedong River, Moran Hill, our house. I miss father. Miss my brother. Someday, if reunification comes, I'll go back then. Bow to father. Leave flowers at mother's grave. Until that day, I'll work hard here. I have freedom. This was my story. Thank you for listening. Freedom isn't free. It stands on someone's sacrifice. Thank you.